Missing Links, Night 4, by Victoria Alice M. 11 p.m. The pizzeria lay quiet and still. Nothing to be moving, not even a door. The animatronics stood. Shutdown mode was finally working. The security guard came 1 hour earlier than the time required. It should have been 12 a.m. on her watch, but it obviously wasn't. She walked around, only glancing at the show stage door. The teen walked by this backstage entrance, only to find that the door was open and inviting. She walked in, her eyes taking her to the other side of the room, where a lonely endoskeleton sat. Its skeleton was limp and saggy. Rusty bars and chewed-up wires held it up. 12 a.m. She finally got to the office before 12 a.m., the time that the animatronics are most active. The monitor sat, wanting to be used, screen flickering. It had been quite a while since the young teen had wandered around the pizzeria. It seemed like it was always changing. She seemed irresponsible to leave the office, but wandering around was the best bet. "I only wanted to get a Coke," she told herself, walking down the East Hall. But what she told herself wasn't exactly the truth. 2 a.m. The hall seemed to be too quiet. The animatronics were obviously right behind her, so she turned around. Two of them stood about a meter away, cold eyes staring back. The teen wondered why they weren't attacking her. Maybe it was too obvious? She just carried on along the halls, the footsteps of the animatronics echoing behind her. As soon as she reached the kitchen doors, she turned around to face them, which now they were pretending they had shut down. "Yeah, I know you like me, but I'm not your type," she laughed, opening the door. The doors closed firmly, opening to a cold kitchen. It seemed like the kitchen had never seen light, but had certainly seen a storm or two. 3 a.m. She made herself a large frozen Coke, which was colder than the kitchen itself. It was like the animatronics were afraid of her, because they were still standing in the hallway from when she left them to enter the kitchen. "Hey, animatronics," she jeered. "Oh yeah, I must have brought the excellent comeback to stop you from following me," she boasted. But as soon as she walked past them triumphantly, they slowly came back to existence, every move spaced between 10 seconds. It didn't last long before it all registered in the teen's mind, and she ran. The loud running steps of Bonnie were heard louder than Chica, since Bonnie was the only one who could run out of them. 4 a.m. The anonymous phone guy rang again. This time he wasn't alone.
Oh, hello! Hey, wow, day 4. I knew you could do it. Hey, listen, I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm going to try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh
no. The young teen felt like her hallucinations were linked to his death, or that she were him, but in a few weeks' time. She felt as if he were the winning prize for guessing correctly, or something along those lines. Then before she thought the night couldn't get any weirder, it did, with a daily hallucination. 5 a.m. This time she awoke in the office, feeling limp, and she decided to stand up. Pain shot through her right thigh. She looked down, hoping that it was just a scratch that hurt a little, but she couldn't look. Something was stopping an everyday movement, which in the teen's case happened regularly. It was found that the hallucination was based around her this time, not the past, not the future, but the exact day she left from. Freddy Fazbear stood, facing the other way. He was a golden color. Everything else about him looked the same, though.
"Young security guard, I am aware that the other animatronics are afraid of you, but I am not. It may be the fact that I have managed to stay away from you, but rest assured, I don't intend to hurt you. You may be the one to shut all 5 of us down in one single night, I don't worry about that. I do worry that when the first hallucination occurred, it went entirely wrong at both ends. You see, we don't like the cleaner who comes around when we are inactive. Your first hallucination was supposed to be for him. You are just a young girl. I wanted to give you a message about us. Stay away from Freddy and Foxy. They are a threat to anyone. Read the paper hanging on the wall after the right-hand door. It says the rules about this place.
Golden Freddy Fazbear seemed like a nice animatronic who wasn't bad, nor out to get her.